You ever find yourself about to do something, maybe wear a really bold outfit, or ask a question you think is dumb, or even just try a new hobby, and then you stop? All because you started worrying, ugh, what are other people gonna think? Well, today we're gonna talk about how to break free from that exact feeling.
It's such a common feeling, right? That little prickle on the back of your neck. The sense that you're on a stage and there's this big spotlight on you. And every single move you make is being scrutinized by some invisible crowd. It can totally freeze you in your tracks. I mean, this image just nails it, doesn't it? This is exactly it. We spend so much of our lives living under the gaze of this, well, invisible audience. These are the critics we've invented in our own heads, and we're convinced they are analyzing every single thing we do. Okay, but here's a thought, a pretty big one. What if that huge, super judgmental audience that we're so terrified of just isn't paying attention? What if they literally don't care? What if it's all just a story we've been telling ourselves?
Well, an answer, or at least a way to find an answer, comes from this really simple source. It's an awareness card. And what's cool is, it's not just giving you some fluffy advice. It actually presents a challenge, a way for you to test that fear and see what's really going on. The whole philosophy of the card boils down to this powerful idea. Don't care about what others think. Be your true self. Of course, we all know that is so much easier said than done. But, and this is the key part, the card gives you a practical way to actually start doing it.
And here it is. The card frames it as an experiment, an authenticity experiment. So this isn't about just trying to believe something new out of thin air. It's about actually going out into the world and collecting your own data to see if your biggest social fears hold any water.
So how does this whole experiment work? It's broken down into 4 pretty simple steps. Step 1, identify a fear. Pinpoint one thing you don't do because you're worried about what people will think. Maybe it's wearing that bright yellow coat or speaking up first in a meeting. Step 2, you just go do it. Step 3 is the brave part, you got to admit. You directly ask someone for their opinion on it. And finally, step 4, you get to discover the truth of what they really thought. And this is the million-dollar question, right? What's the big reveal? What's the payoff for being brave and running this little experiment? What is the truth you're supposed to find when you finally ask for that feedback? Well, the truth, almost every single time, looks something like this. Our assumption is always, everyone's going to notice. They're all going to judge me for this. But the likely truth, the reality, most people are so busy thinking about their own lives, their own problems, their own grocery lists, that they barely even registered what you did. And that leads to this huge, game-changing insight. That intense spotlight we feel shining on us, it isn't actually real. It's a spotlight we are pointing at ourselves, and it's powered entirely by our own anxieties. So once you have this awareness, once you've proven to yourself that the invisible audience isn't really watching, what do you do with that? Well, this is where it gets really good. This is where that awareness starts to turn into actual real-world freedom. This right here is the goal. This is what we're talking about. True freedom. It's the ability to act based on who you really are and what you really want without being weighed down by all those imagined judgments. It's being authentic without that constant draining chatter of worry in your head. So I guess I'll just leave you with this to think about. What's one assumption you have about what other people think that's holding you back right now? What's one tiny experiment you could run, maybe even this week, to test it out and find your own truth? Because really, in the end, it all comes back to this powerful line from the card. The deeper the awareness, the more freedom. The more you actually test that gap between what you fear and what is real, the more and more freedom you unlock for yourself.